What's up, guys? My name is Saget, and today we're playing our Week 7 match for Season 8 of the Springfield Battle League. After our tough loss last week in a nail-biter against Damage, we are back down to 15th on the standings at 2-4. If I want to guarantee myself playoffs, I can't lose for the rest of the season. But I could probably still lose one more and still make it. There are no more undefeated teams remaining, as Joel lost last week to Robbie, but he's still first in the standings for now. We've reached that time in the season where some teams are starting to reach the point of no return, and each week there will be more teams eliminated from contention. I think Cam might still have a theoretical path to the playoffs, but if that is the case, I'm sure it is statistically near impossible, which is unfortunate. Looking at the leaderboards, it's still a two-man race for the throne between Tyranitar and Azumarill. Azumarill gained more ground last week, tying T-Tar for first on the KO leaderboard with 20, and maintaining its spot on the KD leaderboard with 13. Dragapult hung on to a spot on the KO leaderboard, remaining at 14 KOs in 10th place, but fell off of the KD leaderboard as it didn't get any playing time last week. This week our opponent is Richer. Richer's a friend of mine, and actually we talked quite a bit leading up to the draft, helping one another prepare. Richer's towards the bottom of the standings right now, but he recently revamped his team and is doing much better since then. We have only played one time back in Season 6 where his team was so good that it actually resulted in a rule change regarding the draft, and yes, I lost. Here's the team he has this season. You may notice his mascot Fluttermane is not actually here, and that's because he swapped it out for Archaludon 2 weeks ago. Archaludon is an absolute beast of a Pokemon. It's only got very specific counterplay. It's got a great typing, only 2 weaknesses, those being to fighting and ground. Its stats are incredible. Its really only weak spot is that special defense stat, which can be made up for by Assault Vest, which it doesn't mind having because of all of the amazing attacking moves it gets. And actually, Archaludon is the Pokemon that knocked me out of playoffs last season when it was piloted by Yuliko. He was able to take that team all the way to the championship, but where he ended up losing. Next up is Volbeat, which is actually one of my favorite Pokemon that I've ever used in draft. I used it back in Season 6. The way I used it is actually very different from how Richer is using it. While I did occasionally use Rain Dance, and I almost always used Tailwind, I mostly use Volbeat with Espathra for my patented Glow Pass Boost Power strategy. Yes, I just made that up. No, it's not patented, and I love that strategy, but unfortunately, I've already taken up too much time talking about it. So the way Richer's been using it lately is just, Tailwind, Rain Dance, and a support move, usually Thunder Wave. He has brought Tail Glow before, but I feel like since he made the swaps, he's been pretty locked into Rain Dance and Tailwind. And then, I expect to see Thunder Wave, but we could see something like an Encore or maybe a Taunt. Next, we have one of the remaining members of his original squad, Electivire. Electivire is a very interesting Pokemon because I feel like its stats don't at all match how it's typically used. We usually see it used as a support Pokemon with Follow Me and Electroweb, whereas it's not super bulky and it's got a really high attack stat and speed stat, but it's still bulky enough and has some great traits for that redirection. Next is a very new Pokemon to this squad. It is Ludicolo. Ludicolo, of course, takes great advantage of that rain with Swift Swim. Its stats are all around not that impressive, but it has a great type. It gets Fake Out. Last week was its first appearance and he used it pretty offensively, but it is very good as a supportive Pokemon as well. Next, we've got Haxorus, which is another original member of this squad. Of course, the main thing there is its ridiculous attack stat. Its speed stat is just not quite fast enough to really take things over, but of course with a Scarf or a Dragon Dance setup, it becomes very threatening very quickly. Yet another Pokemon that takes advantage of the rain is Barraskewda. It's one of the few Pokemon this season that we are playing, and actually the only one so far that in my opinion truly challenges Dragapult's speed with that base 136 speed stat. It also hits very hard with a high attack stat, and in the rain will be outspeeding absolutely everything, hitting like a truck. Really the drawback with it is that it is very frail, so if I can somehow outspeed it, it shouldn't be too hard to take down. Next is Clodsire, which is one of my least favorite Pokemon to play against, just because it has single-handedly defeated me before in a past season. It's very bulky, has some great abilities. I expect the way he'll use it is with Water Absorb, and he'll just try to spam Surf with somebody, probably Ludicolo. But yes, it does get some great support options. Yawn, Toxic Spikes, although spikes aren't that big a deal in VGC, I imagine that he may attempt to do that, and just generally being a nuisance. Next we've got Berserker, another fake out user, and with that Steely Spirit ability, it can actually be very dangerous next to Archaludon. Quillfish is yet another Swift Swim Pokemon, although I expect to see it run Intimidate if it does come. I think my team's pretty good against Intimidate, despite being mostly physical attackers, but as you'll see in a moment, I have decided not to go with Clear Amulet on Chien-pao, so if he brings Quillfish and Intimidate, I might actually be in some trouble. The last slot on this team is Flamigo. Of course, if Archaludon or Haxorus or even a Volbeat with Tail Glow gets set up and this Flamigo comes in, it's going to be very, very dangerous. So I have to make sure that those Pokemon can't get set up, and if they do, I have a way to take advantage of Flamigo coming in. Let's go ahead and take a look at the team that I'm using. We've got Chien-pao, and it is actually a little different than usual. We've really been running only one of 2 sets so far, and this time we're using a Life Orb. Everything else about this set is fairly normal. We've got Terra Ghost, Ice Spinner, Crunch, Sacred Sword, and Protect. Although I have not invested very much in speed, only doing enough to outspeed Haxorus, going max attack, and putting the rest of our points in HP. The longer the season goes on, the more I'm liking bulky Chien-pao, as crazy as that sounds. Especially with Life Orb, I want to have as much HP as possible at my disposal, and I didn't see the need to invest that much in speed, since really if a Tailwind or a Rain Dance go up, we're going to get outsped by pretty much anything. So yes, I have enough to outspeed Haxorus if I need to. I definitely want to be able to threaten Haxorus at all times, but unless I manage to get some speed control of my own, I'm just going to let that fly and focus on doing damage. Next is Dragapult, who is actually running a pretty standard set, although it is a little different than usual. We're going Power Herb, Terra Ghost, Dragon Darts, Phantom Force, Terra Blast, and Protect. Those are all very normal. The difference is our spread. Usually we don't go nearly as much speed. I've gone with 212 points in speed because that is enough to outspeed a max non-Jolly Barraskewda. Maxed out my attack and put the rest in HP. So the reason I specifically went enough to outspeed non-Jolly Barraskewda is because I'm fairly confident that he's been going Adamant most of the season, and I think especially if he feels confident that he can get up Rain or a Tailwind, he is going to run Adamant over Jolly. So as long as I can beat that when I'm matching speed control, then I am cool with that. Next we've got Muck with Citrus Berry, Terra Grass, Power of Alchemy, Knockoff, Poison Jab, Drain Punch, and Haze. So I am going to have a Trick Room mode this week just because he is so easily able to get his speed control. So with that, I think Muck is very strong here. It's going to be a lot slower than pretty much anything except Clodsire and maybe Berserker. Knockoff and Poison Jab are great options. Although I don't hit that many things super effectively, really it's only Ludicolo with Poison Jab. They're just nice to have to spread damage around, knock some items off, maybe get some poisons. Of course, Drain Punch is really important into Archaludon, as is Haze. It's going to let me get rid of those stamina boosts, and maybe shut down a setting up Haxorus or Volbeat as well. As far as the spread, I've gone as much bulk as I can. I did get some specific calc. I think it had to do, it likely had to do with Electro Shot and or Draco Meteor from Archaludon. And then I put as much as I could into attack to get those Drain Punches to be hit. To complete that Trick Room mode, we've got Mesprit with Covert Cloak, Terra Electric, Mystical Power, Thunderbolt, Reflect, and Trick Room. Mystical Power and Thunderbolt are just great options here. Mystical Power I love. It really allows me to snowball, and it's still pretty strong just on its own. And then Thunderbolt is great because of how many water types are here. Reflect is there to shut down all the physical attackers, as well as Body Press from Archaludon. I've gone with enough special attack to guarantee that I can one-shot, I believe it's Barraskewda with a Thunderbolt, probably Flamigo also. And then I put the rest into HP and a little bit into special defense. Here we've got Toedscruel. I've gone with Aguav Berry and Terra Dark, Earth Power, Rage Powder, Spore, and Protect. I've gone with 4 points into special attack, my remaining EVs into Physical Bulk and Calm Nature. This is yet another Pokemon where as long as Taunt doesn't come on Volbeat, it's going to be able to do whatever it wants. And even if Taunt does come, I have that emergency Terra Dark, but I prefer not to use my Terra on Toedscruel. The reason I went with 4 special attack points is because if he goes with the Archaludon set that I think he will, which is actually not max HP, then Earth Power should 2-hit KO as long as I have that 1 extra special attack point. Toedscruel is great because it can redirect away from maybe Mesprit setting up Trick Room. It can punish Archaludon with Spore as well as Volbeat. Rage Powder is always great in front of those attackers that will hit very hard. And it also will help support my last Pokemon, which is SQUAWKABILLY. Now I've gone with an interesting SQUAWKABILLY set. I went with Intimidate, Focus Sash, Terra Ghost, with Brave Bird, Endeavor, Tailwind, and Parting Shot. If I can use this Pokemon correctly, it's going to be huge here. Brave Bird will be doing a lot of damage into Volbeat and Ludicolo, as well as Flamigo. If I get down to Sash and am able to keep my speed control, I can bring Archaludon down to 1 HP with Endeavor, as well as anything else, but Archaludon is the main one. Tailwind is going to help me match a Tailwind or a Swift Swim activation from Volbeat. And Parting Shot is, of course, to mitigate damage from any offensive threats. I really like what I've got here. I have max speed, which will let me outspeed the majority of this team, assuming that I have matched his speed control. The exceptions being Electivire, Haxorus, and Barraskewda. And I realized while team building that flying is just really pretty good here. I think he leans quite a bit on both Volbeat and Ludicolo, so having that Brave Bird is going to be really nice. We really need a big win here to keep our playoff hopes alive, so let's go ahead and get into the battle. Okay, alright. Sorry for the awkward intro. So we really got to win this one because if we don't, it's going to be a really tough way back to the playoffs. So, we see no Barraskewda. We do see Quillfish, which is actually kind of a bad thing because that really limits what I'm going to be able to do with SQUAWKABILLY and chien-pao. But we don't see Barraskewda. That's a good thing. And what are the other problem Pokemon? I mean, Ludicolo's here, Archaludon's here, Volbeat's here. Those are the big ones I focused on, so. What's this Volbeat set? We've got Thunder Wave. Okay, that's good. And we've got Bug Buzz. Do I go Trick Room mode first? He's Terra Fairy Arch. I'm gonna go with my normal squad first. So those two and those two. This Quillfish could be a real problem though. Okay, there's the Quillfish and the Volbeat. Okay. Flip turn, Barb Barrage, Sword Stance, and Protect. And you're Intimidate, you're not Swift Swim. So I'm in no immediate danger here. I think I'm just gonna go for Spore and Tailwind. Because am I gonna kill... I'm not gonna kill Volbeat with a Brave Bird, so I'm better off trying to get this Sash to do something. There's the Rain Dance, there's the Tailwind. We've got a Flip Turn. That actually did quite a bit. And there's Ludicolo. Okay, so we're in a great spot here to just go for a Brave Bird. Yeah. I think I just Earth Power and I Brave Bird. Boom! That's huge. Alright. And of course, that's not going to do very much. That was just for insurance, essentially. Now, I'm assuming Arch is last, so actually preserving SQUAWKABILLY is going to be a pretty big deal here. What was he going for, I wonder? Probably Blizzard. Okay, there's Arch. What HP am I at? I'm at 31. I think I'm gonna go for Endeavor and Earth Power. Okay, that's fine, actually. Yeah, actually, I think that was a pretty great turn, if I'm being honest. Now, the thing is, I definitely want to keep Toadsquirrel healthy for this next turn. I should be able to go for Protect and Crunch here. And hopefully pick up a KO on Volbeat. Now, the question is, do I use my Terra this turn? And I think the answer is yes, I do. Yeah, if I Terra, I can't die to anything, so I think I just go for Protect. Or do I go for Spore? I think I do. Because you have Assault Vest, so I'm going to go for Spore. And Terra Ghost Crunch. Now, okay. Okay, go straight for Electro Shot. Okay, and it does get the kill, but I got my Spore, so I'm 100% chilling. Let's go back to the old Billy Butcher and do Earth Power and Endeavor. Oh, actually, what's your speed? 120, and yours is 158. So yes, I do that. Great. All right, that was awesome. That went about as well as I could hope for. Okay, so how's he gonna lead differently? Is the question. I would expect Ludicolo to lead here, is the truth. I still like that lead so much that I think I'm going to stay with it. chien-pao in the back. Now, do I go with Dragapult is the thing. I feel like Muck is good here. I'll go with Dragapult. Okay, and there's the lead I was expecting, so... Will a Blizzard kill Toadsquirrel? It will. Will a Blizzard kill SQUAWKABILLY? It'll put me at 1. So, if he goes for Blizzard, I'm not in a great spot. I'm still gonna go for Spore and Tailwind. Oh! Barely lived. And that miss is actually very big. Alright. So now I can pretty safely... I think I'm gonna switch in chien-pao. Just because Toadsquirrel isn't doing a lot right now. Especially against these two. So So I'm going to switch in chien-pao. It's not in really any danger. And I'm going to Brave Bird into the VODs slot. Do I Brave Bird into the VODs slot? Yes. Nice. Okay. Now if he hits this blizzard... Oh, another miss. That sucks, dude. I am sorry. That's crazy, dude. That he got another miss. Alright, I'm gonna go for Ice Spinner into Electivire and Brave Bird into Ludicolo. Nice. Nice. Okay. And now it should just be Archelodon left. And there's the Arch. Alright, so I'm gonna Protect and Endeavor. Okay. And now I can Sacred Sword. Nice. Alright. Nice. That went very well. I am really happy with how SQUAWKABILLY did. It played great, just like I wanted to. Same with Toadscruel. Of course, that Blizzard miss. The first one I don't think was a huge deal because I had Sash, but the second one definitely mattered, and that's unfortunate. But yeah, I felt very in control. I didn't bring Dragapult at all. So good week here for the Billy, and yeah, man, this is going to be a short one maybe. So yeah, I want to quickly touch on the situation in general. I'm now at 3-4, which is great. There's 3 matches left, so if I win all 3, I'm in great shape. And even if I lose one of them, I'm in probably pretty good shape. I just got to make sure that I don't lose 2. So yeah, thank you for watching.